When you think of hotbeds of fashion, you might imagine the runways of Milan or strolling down the Champs Elysees in Paris. But since the early 80s, Japanese designers have been challenging conventional ideas of beauty. And as WGBH arts editor Jared Bowens shows us, the Far East fashion revolution has come to Massachusetts.
Roiling puffs of smoke and dark shadows, lady lumps and anime fancy. When a host of Japanese designers eyed the fashion world in the early 1980s, they weren't looking to make a splash, they were readying an invasion.
When the Parisian fashion world saw this clothing coming down the runway, there were words like apocalyptic and bombed and, my God, this stuff looks like clothes and why is this beautiful?
Future Beauty, avant-garde Japanese fashion at the Peabody Essex Museum examines the fashion fury unleashed by the Japanese 30 years ago, says Chief Curator Linda Roscoe-Hartigan.
The Japanese obviously went through World War II, and the disruption to their culture really encouraged them to think about their place in the world.
And before we leave this section, I can't help but ask about this illusion of smoke over here.
That's actually my favorite dress in the whole show, so that's why she gets front and center. The Japanese obviously love materials. That's just in their veins historically, and that's basically a kind of industrial material that's been made to do all kinds of things in terms of creating this smoky effect.
So Linda, moving ahead, suddenly this is a very different version of bringing sexy back, at least by Western definitions.
Well, the West certainly does love curves, and some curves are great, some curves we don't want to show. With Rei Kawakubo's 1997 collection, it's called Body Meets Dress, Dress Meets Body. I mean, it's a collision of bumps and lumps. It's very playful, frankly, and it's very adventuresome.
Now, this is a fashion that a lot of young people know today. This is the street fashion.
Fashion designers really started noticing this as of the 1990s. And, with anime films and the manga comics and this really bright use of color and strong graphic design, it really fed into how the kids decided to dress themselves.
And do you see threads back from what we see today to how you start this show?
I think probably the single greatest quality is the openness to experimentation and to be daring and to say that, how you have a relationship with your body and clothes is really up to you. And it's one of the reasons, frankly, why we end this exhibition with a question: what's your future beauty?
Well, I can tell you one of my favorite things in Future Beauty is something I didn't even show. They were so inventive in everything they did, including this book that looks like a volume, probably about this big, and you open it up, and then you wear this dress. You get a little sense of it. It was that big, red, puffy, voluminous thing. So there's, in addition to just being fashion, there's a lot of sculpture here, too, which is, it's just so great to immerse yourself in.
So did they change the fashion world?
They did change the fashion world. Paris was in an uproar when this happened, and what it did, designers began using different textiles, different shapes, and draping in different ways, so it has had a very long-term effect.
All right, let's bring Martini Severin into the discussion. She's a fashion photographer and the driving force behind the blog Beyond Boston Chic. Welcome. So you are very complimentary, actually, in some respects to Boston, because we've got a bad rap. We come in like last place for Fashion Sense or something.
We have, by GQ. I think GQ named us a few years ago the worst dressed city in the U.S. That's a little bit much. But I think we here in Boston always have taken we have a lot of fun with what we wear, and I'm so glad that the Peabody Essex Museum has brought this exhibit here, because it shows us that fashion does not have to be serious. It doesn't have to be all zipped up. You can bring in popular culture like anime or manga comics and incorporate that in your everyday dress.
Well, listen, as long as we're talking fashion, we can't skip what happened last night at the Golden Globes. And I was sitting there with a girlfriend of mine. We were, rating the dresses, 1 to 10. We're going to start with some of the ones that I really liked. I like Cate Blanchett's look. She was the lace. Did you like that one, Jared?
I thought she was ravishing. She was dream-worthy. And she's wearing Armani here.
What about, do you like that one?
I love it. Yeah. Oh, she's always so beautifully put together and well-dressed. And this one from Armani reminds me of this Victoria Anna craze that's been going on in London right now.
Another one I liked, Elizabeth Moss. I'm not really sure who she is, but I liked her dress.
She's a star of Mad Men.
Oh, God. Anyway, I liked her dress. Did you?
Oh, I love it. I love the details in the dress, and she looks really wonderful, and the hint of colors that's in there.
All right, the last one I liked was Margot Robbie, and one of the reasons I really liked what she was wearing is because when you see the movie
Wolf of Wall Street,
she's naked most of the time, so I didn't recognize her right away. But all right, some of the ones we didn't like. Sandra Bullock, did you like that one?
Oh goodness, I gasped a little when I saw that dress. She's such a beautiful woman. I mean,
horrible.
Her hair is great, but the dress waist up is really nice. The rest of it is a bit of a nightmare.
No, terrible. Julia Roberts?
I'm not quite sure where she was going.
Looked like she had a tuxedo shirt tucked into her dress.
Yes, it was.
I really liked her. I thought she was so beautiful sitting next to Meryl Streep at the table all night.
She's beautiful, but
she looked so glamorous.
Oh, we missed Jennifer Lawrence. Do we have time to get that one? Jacqueline Bisset we have. Never mind. Jennifer Lawrence was the worst. She looked like somebody said she looked like a sausage casing or something like that.
Jacqueline Bisset wasn't that much better.
Wasn't that much better.
No, not at all.
Martini Severin, Jared Bowens, thanks so much.